To A.G. Dostoyevskaya, Ems, August 16/28, 1879. I have just received your dear letter of the 11th, my dear Agnieszka. I am now very sorry that I sent you my last impatient letter about the money. I swear to you that I was terribly worried because by putting it off from one day to the next, you might suddenly have realized that it was already too late. Besides, I was under the impression that you were expecting me to return home much later than I was planning to. I will leave here, at least I will do my best to, definitely on the 29th, our style. Don't be angry with me. I've taken to brooding a great deal in my loneliness, and I keep imagining all kinds of gloomy and unpleasant things happening. I feel so depressed that I cannot begin to describe it. I have even forgotten how to talk, and it actually surprises me when I catch myself saying a word aloud. For over 3 weeks now, I haven't heard my own voice. You write that you sent me 100 rubles yesterday, which would mean on the 10th, but although I have just now received your letter of the 11th, I haven't received the money yet. It's strange that it should be so late, but of course I will get it, perhaps tomorrow. You write me that I must be sparing with the money and about the opera glasses, but I am being careful and I am keeping within my planned budget for everything except tobacco, on which I spend a bit more because I cannot find my usual brand here. But although my spending is strictly regulated, it is still hellishly high. I repeat that it is unlikely that I will have a single ruble left by the time I get back. Whenever I try to make calculations, I soon throw up my hands in despair. I'll be lucky if I can scrape through. As for the opera glasses, I am absolutely furious about them because I was evidently duped and paid more than they are worth. But I wanted to buy them very badly. But then in Russia, there never were such swindling shopkeepers as there are now in Germany. It is the Yids again. The Yids have taken over everything, and they cheat like mad, and I mean cheat. You write that you are very concerned about my health. As I told you before, I myself do not know what will come out of my treatment, although I am beginning to hope that it will do me some good. I am definitely gaining strength, I do feel that. My cough has subsided somewhat and is not so violent, but it is still there and I'll never get rid of it completely. Besides, it is so damp here that I keep catching cold, and then for days on end I have a terrible tickling sensation in my throat. My breathing, however, is deeper and easier, and I do not get out of breath so much. Counting from tomorrow, exactly 12 days of the treatment remain, i.e., the last third. Anyway, the state of my health will become clear in the fall and winter, but you know, Anya, you yourself write very little about your own health, and that worries me a great deal. I want you to return to Petersburg after the summer in much better health. Your health is now much more important for the children than mine is. I think and worry about you a lot. I have read and reread in ecstasy your sweet words about your love for me. You write, love me, as though I had to be told to. It only sickens me to put certain things into words, and you could have seen as much for yourself, but alas, you don't know how to see it. My husbandly rapture alone, so constant, indeed it actually keeps growing every year, should mean something to you, but either you don't want to understand it or you are utterly incapable of understanding it because of your lack of experience. Just show me any other marriage where the phenomenon is as strong as it is in our 12-year marriage. And my rapture and delight are inexhaustible. You may say that this is only the crudest aspect of it. No, it is not crude. And as a matter of fact, all the rest is determined by it. But that, precisely, is something that you refuse to understand. To finish this tirade, I officially declare that I am thirsting to kiss every toe on your foot, and you'll see, I will reach my goal. You write, and what if somebody should read our letters? Well, let them envy us. You write about the bad time you were going through because of the repairs being made on the house. What can you do about it? You asked for it yourself, but I see that the time is going by, and I wonder what's happened about your trip to the Nil, N-I-L. Besides, I am still trembling at the thought of Mrs. Bergman's visit, which will cost you a lot of bother and be a tremendous strain on your nerves. I hope to God that everything works out for the best and pleasantly for you. Here I keep thinking about our plans for the future and about that property I would like to buy. This has almost become an obsession with me, you know. I'm so full of anxieties about the children and their future. I have got down to work on the novel and I am writing. But not very much because, if you can believe it, I literally have no time. I only hope that when I get back on September 3rd or 4th, I will bring half of the September installment with me. I will have to get down to work on the other half the very next day without taking time off for a rest. And with all that, my work must be refined, elegant, and polished like a piece of jewelry. These are the most important chapters and should determine the reader's opinion of the novel. I'm quite pleased with the installment I have sent them for August, although I anticipate, knowing them, that they will introduce many fatal errors into it. But all that is in the future, and in the meantime I feel lonely here, and it is no ordinary loneliness, but a morbid feeling which could drive me out of my mind. I believe that lots of people are beginning to leave this place, although it is still appallingly crowded. There are awfully few Russians here, and none whom I know. It has been raining for the last 3 days. Well now, how about Jaclard? He's all right, I'll tell you. He's just as he should be, a man who picks the flowers of joy, not like poor us, the frightened and downtrodden. I was very interested in what you wrote about the staging of Krylov's fables. It sounds very good and quite charming. Thank dear little Lilia for her ever so sweet letter, and tell Fedya that his letter is wonderful, that I just love it, and that I will keep it as long as I live. So goodbye, my angel, my golden treasure, my bright and beautiful wife. Yes, that's what you are, my beautiful one, and if I weren't restrained by what you say about censorship of the mail, God alone knows what I'd write you. Nevertheless, I again kiss your feet. Parentheses, 2 lines erased, end of parentheses. I kiss it continuously in my thoughts, and I also love your golden heart terribly. I revere and worship it. As for the nerves, that is something that can be cured, can't it? I kiss and bless the children and keep thinking of them, but enough for now. Your eternal F. Dostoyevsky. Are the children looking forward to my arrival? Do they mention me now and then? Teach Fedya to read. Is it possible that Lilichka is pale? I often look at their snapshots here. I still do not get much sleep and continue having nightmares. Do look after your own health, Anya. It suddenly occurs to me, will this letter find you in Staraya Russa? And what if you decide to go off to the Nil? But I certainly do not object to that trip and only hope you can manage it without any special strain and worry. I'm afraid of catching cold on my long and hurried journey home and thus jeopardizing my cure. Once again, I kiss you 1,000 times. Regards to all. Footnote. The Bergman woman was probably the wife of August A. Bergman, who had helped with the printing of Epoch. But it is not known why Dostoyevsky expected that her visit would be such a strain on Anna Grigorievna's nerves.